Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Allow me to embarrass myself with my talking voice. My beloved friend, now the chairman of FDCP, I'm very happy for you, and I hope you will lead us further in our chosen art, which is part of our culture. Friends, the declaration of September as the Filipino Film Industry Month is a very significant recognition of our young industry. Our film industry is truly Filipino by heart and in spirit. We are divided geographically, a handicap, a barrier for a people aspiring to be one nation. Our colonizers divided us, but our will as a people was stronger, and our heroes and grandfathers prevailed. They paid a high price with blood for the freedom we enjoy today. With this rich texture of our history, we have unlimited stories to tell, an unlimited source of material for our movies, which is the face, which is the mirror of our people. In our diversity, in dialect, we found our unity in Tagalog or Filipino movies. This is where our Filipino movies played an invaluable bridge, linking us with one another. September is also the month our national artist honoring today, film director Gerardo de Leon, was born September 12. Known in the industry as Manong, we pay homage to this great Filipino film director by showing one of his major works today, the Moises Padilla story. Let me share with you some thoughts of Manong's contemporaries. Lamberto Avellana, national, another national artist for film, considered Manong not as a rival in the art of filmmaking, for both of them made classic Filipino films that gave prestige worldwide to our young industry. Bert commented, Jerry left behind not only his films, but people who worked with him and learned from him. Joseph Estrada considered Manong as the dean of Filipino film directors. Anita Linda saw him as an absolute motivator. Loris Guillen found an affirmation of her being an actress and director when she appeared in the Nora Honor produced film Fe Esperanza Caridad. Nora Honor said, Jerry De Leon is a guarantee for a good film. Amalia Fuentes quoted, I'm amazed at what Manong can do with his shots, his lighting and editing. Rarely you can find a director like him. Peggy Gallaga said, no director can hold a candle to what he has done. Love Diaz considers Jerry De Leon as part of our film mythology. Manong's awards speaks for itself. In 1955, Manong won Best Director for his film Ipugao in Singapore. One of the juries, David Lee, popularly known as the director of the Dr. Shivago and Lawrence of Arabia, he was so impressed by the work of Manu that he invited him to work with him in London. But Manu decided to stay and enrich our industry. I have no regrets for dropping out of school, for I ended up working with this genius during my formative years. This Provinciano from Negros Occidental can relate to the film we are about to see. Negros is a rich province with no sugar shortage. Landowners called hacenderos controlled the economic and political development of the province. With it came wealth, power, corruption, and greed. After the war, American sponsored politicians sprouted with their newfound opportunities and connections. One selected senator his, res- misread his responsibility when, in a meeting in Malacanang, quoted, "What are we in power for?" The abuse of power reared its serpentine, ugly head. I was in grade 5 when this event happened. Our town mayor in Pontevedra escaped death when his home was riddled with 50 caliber machine gun fire. He was able to jump out of the rear window and was able to swim in a dirty river behind the home and borrowed a boat and crossed to Iloilo with the help of fellow nationalistas and ended up in Manila. The story of Moises Padilla is a typical story of unoppressed people and the political warlords. Governor Lacson, a liberal, Negros Occidental, not with Rafael Lacson, ruled Negros Occidental not with an iron fist, but with a nozzle of automatic guns and a collection of illiterate and trigger-happy special police, a machinery to terrorize the peace and loving Negrenses. A small hinterland town of Magallaon had enough of the atrocities by the governor's men. Elections came and they decided to put up candidate under the Nacionalista Party and they picked an ex-guerrilla fighter. Bravely, they put up Moises Padilla on the political stage. When director Gerardo de Leon was approached to direct the film, he was given a blanket authority to execute the project from casting to his staff. It was a political film. I was part of the production. Anyway, Manu wanted to shoot the whole film in Negros Occidental. He was dissecting the script the way he dissect, the way he dissect his patients before as a doctor. I whispered to Manu, Manu, huwag natin ituloy mag-shoot sa Negros. Masyadong delikado. Si Governor Lacson is still undergoing trial and his people are still free to roam around. So we decided to send a cameraman to take the atmosphere shots. We went around location hunting and we settled in the Canlubang area for the sugar cane fields with Mount Makiling for the Canlaon volcano background. All the torture scenes were in LV and closed set studios. Extreme brutalities inflicted on Moises were no problem for the censors because Maning Lagunsat was the producer, was the chairman of the board of the censors before. The fight scene between the fight scene between Paul Salcedo and Max Alvarado were also done in the LBN studios. For a newcomer like me, every film I worked with Mano were lessons in creative cinematography and editing and the other nuances of filmmaking. All that I have read in books, I saw that firsthand applied in our set. Once somebody asked me about the shots of Mano in most of his films. They said when the focus of the shots of Jerry have that character of having a depth of field in focus from the foreground to the background, you will see that in this film. The answer was that because Manong owned a special lens at the time, an 18 millimeter retrofocus lens. Before, when you rent a shooting film, you get the camera package with 3 or 4 lenses. To go with it, your widest lens is 25 millimeter, 35 millimeter, 75 millimeter for extreme close-ups. Once he told me, with just one lens, you can finish a whole film. He was referring to his special lens. When I was working on my own already, traveling out of the country, I was exposed to the latest technology. Before he died in 1981, in one of my visits, because he never allowed people to visit him now, he was already holding a portable oxygen tank. When I was working on my own, traveling out of the country, I visited him, and he said something that I cannot forget. Alam mo, Nick, nung sumama ka sa akin, wala kang alam. Ngayon, yung mga kinukwento mo sa akin, hindi ko na alam. From his side table, he handed me this special lens and his first director's viewfinder. This is the lens. This is his first director's viewfinder, which he gave to me. To keep his memory alive, I produced a short documentary, Salamat sa Alaala, based on the music he composed, inspired by a lost love. That's another story. Happy viewing.